off the game there Saturday night. Really pleased going back and watching the film, and you're seeing just positive strides. We challenged our guys last week with the way that they prepared, the mindset which they brought into the game. We wanted to go out and play a complete game. We have not done that throughout the early part of the season, and I thought the guys embraced the challenge. Start off with a bang on the kickoff return. Really big for our special teams unit. Something we've kind of hammering away at. Trey did a great job of trusting what he had in front of him. Broke a couple tackles. Some really key blocks that helped spring it, and I thought that was big. Also had an 18-yard punt return, which is something that we needed to see. I thought Micah did a nice job throughout the night fielding the balls that he could field, but really got off to a great start in that game. A dominant first half. You're going into halftime, 31-0 was big. I thought the defense really played fast. It was good, seeing with even with some guys that were out in the game, really seeing players step up. I thought guys like Josh Farmer played his best game. Jarrett Jackson really showed up. Patrick Payton, Derek McClendon, Dennis Briggs, all those guys up front really did some nice things. I thought our linebackers played fast. I thought Jamie Robinson, really flashed when he's out there on the field. But it was going back and watching tape. I thought he played at a really high level there throughout the course of the game. We knew the skill players that they had. A quarterback that was experienced and talented. But I thought all in all our defense was really good throughout the course of the evening. Offensively. I thought, I'm pleased with what we're doing. Just the buy-in from the entire group. We were able to show good balance. Boston College did a good job of condensing some things in the run game there early. Jordan was exceptional. Played at a very high level. And once again, another receiver really jumped out there. Darion had a great first half. Ended up kind of getting banged up, wasn't able to finish the game, but you had almost 100 yards receiving there in the first half. Just everybody making the most of their opportunities, and able to spring some runs. You had some explosive runs that showed up throughout the course of the game, and just like I said, more than anything else, it was just the mindset that I was most pleased with, and just the way the guys approached the week and how that was able to carry over on game day. And we're excited about the week that's ahead, and another opportunity to be here at home, another opportunity to take another step with where we're trying to get to within our program, and the confidence of seeing the work that was invested last week in practice and how that applied out there on the field Saturday night. We need to continue to push there, and I thought last night we had great meetings. We had a great practice in the short practice that we had. But I like where our guys where they are mentally. But we got to continue to push in all other areas. But we've got a great opponent that's coming in. They're coming off just an incredible football game. They came up a little bit short there at the end. But this is a very talented team that we're going to play, and they've got great experience. They've got guys that play extremely hard. They're very well coached. So excited for the opportunity that we have in front of us, and got to go get better this week.
All right, first question will be Ira to your right.
A lot of times receivers have a perception in football of being divas or whatever.
I was a receiver, just so you know.
But the team you coach, it seems like these guys are a little bit different. I mean, they seem to embrace the physicality, the dirty work, things like that. Is that something learned, or is that something you guys identified when you brought some of these guys in?
Well, I mean, we want guys that truly aspire to be their best in all. And playing receiver, you never know how many opportunities you're going to get. But on every play, you have an opportunity to make an impact, and that's what I love, and the way that our guys are approaching each game and each rep. Is that one of my favorite plays in the game is when Darion's tunnel. I know he gets mentioned a lot, but watch Johnny Wilson blocking 50 yards down the field. Pretty impressive. You see the mentality of guys. thought Micah had a really good game and was able to make some big catches and tough runs. You know, I mentioned Darion earlier. You know, Kentron, you know, with his first touchdown. I mean, there's a lot of things that go beyond just with ball in hand, but that are impactful to the game. And our guys want to be successful. Yeah, they care about each other. They care about, you know, the success that our running backs have. They care about the success of the offense. They you know, everybody wants the ball. That's a given. But you know, when you're willing to make the investment and to do the dirty work, to allow the offense to be able to go, it does benefit them. Because you know, when you can run the football, when you can do those things, you're going to get, you know, tighter play to the line of scrimmage, which creates more one-on-one matchups, which gives better opportunities to push the ball down the field. So, you know, I'm glad that our guys, you know, they embrace that mindset. And like I said, I mentioned last week, I think Coach Dugas is doing a great job with them. And, you know, they're showing up when they get their numbers called there in the passing game as well.
We'll stay over there for Corey.
Did Boston College defend Johnny the way you thought they might after the game against Louisville? Did you see any shift in coverage towards him that maybe you hadn't seen prior?
They had a little. I mean, they played a little bit more cover two there early and certain things. But you know, ultimately, I don't know if that was necessarily just for Johnny, or you know, it was just a big picture you know, approach of variations of what they wanted to show. But you know, it's one of those things that, you know, everybody's going to try to take away something, and you know, it was the way things worked out. I mean, you know, Cam was able to get a couple plays over the middle when the safety was playing a little bit wider. It's got to all play off of each other, and you know, it's just kind of the way the flow of the game went. So I don't know if it was specifically their plan, but you know, it's where, as a quarterback and all skill guys, you never know when that's, you know, on any given call or with each opportunity of how somebody's going to try to defend you, but you got to take what they're giving you. And I thought, you know, Jordan did a great job of that, and you know, it really helped kind of spark the offense.
Come to Chris Nee over here.
On Jordan, how impressed were you with how he pushed through last week to play? How did he feel on Sunday? And also, how good of a job is he doing keeping his eyes downfield and being a pass first?
I mean, did a great job, and you know, I touched on it just after the game. I mean, it was impressive seeing him get to Wednesday, and you know, I mean, he was very limited there on Tuesday, and then you know, but he was getting you know, he got treatment so much from last weekend all the way up, and then you know, when I saw him out there Wednesday moving around, and just, you know, even though he was still, you know, not full go, but I felt very confident where that would progress to, and to go in and play the way that he did, you know, it just speaks volumes to the preparation that he's putting in. And you know, I think that you know, you know, coming out of the game, he felt great. You know, was able to practice yesterday. You know, we continue to push him. I mean, I think you saw you get the adrenaline going, and just some of those reactionary things. I mean, that one run that he had was remarkable, and you know, he's very confident in what he sees. You know, he had the early play, you know, coming out of the end zone where he scrambled and was able to put the ball over to Darion, and then you know, later on, I think it might have been that same drive where he scrambled and, you know, everybody pushed back and stayed in coverage, and he was able to get a 15-16 yard run based off of it. So you know, that's the balance. He has great athletic ability, but you know, he is what he's able to do with his arm and trusting the rhythm, trusting the you know, his guys that are out on the perimeter. It's pretty special to see.
All right, we'll stay here for Brendan.
You guys have talked about Darion coming on for a little while now. You've been excited about him. For him to get into the game and get that kind of production, I guess, is that big for him moving forward? And then I guess, how's he feeling? Will he be available this week?
Yeah, you know, I think you know, each experience allows you to build confidence, and you know, we've all watched it in practice. You know, even though he's been, you know, limited in his availability, we've talked about that earlier in the season. But to see him do that in game day, and really in one half, I mean, he was, I think, had five catches for almost 100 yards, and you know, it was, I think, you know, maybe played, it was 8 to 10 plays that he was actually in, but you know, he's capitalizing on them. So those opportunities are going to continue to grow, because you see the confidence that's building in him as a player. You know, coming out of the weekend, you know, we'll continue to see how he progresses, you know, throughout this week. I mean, I'm hopeful that he'll be able to be available, but you know, even if not, there's a lot of things that he should be very confident in by what he's been able to do. I think he's got a great future in front of him, and it's definitely exciting to see him making those plays.
All right, next will be Hassan over on the left.
You had a couple players, Lovett and Versal again on Saturday. How big of it for someone like Patrick Payton and others to step up in a game like that? Where your defense probably played, it looked like you said, it's the most complete game.
I think it's huge, and I mean, we pride ourselves in the development of the depth that we have and that competitiveness to be able to play multiple guys. And when you see guys really forced into bigger roles, for them seizing those opportunities, I mean, it's huge. And like I said, Pat is he's got a world of talent, and as he's getting out and getting more and more play, he's been very impactful. Whether it was there in the Louisville game last week, and what I love is that even coming out of the game, I mean he was pretty irritated that he missed out on finishing some sacks and some opportunities that he had. Now it's all right. Well, why did that happen? Now what are the things we need to do to get better as we're pushing this week? And so you really feel that hunger, and it's not just him, but it's collectively as a team that. If you're getting opportunities, you're crossing that white line to go play and to make an impact, and let's go be our best. And that's where you saw a big jump from Josh Farmer, even in the reps that he had against Louisville, to what he did this past week. I mean, you saw him playing faster. Same thing with JJ. Guys that are very talented, but now pushed into playing larger roles. We need that type of continued growth, and they're working very hard, and they know that this team is counting on them and depending on them to play at a high level.
We'll go to Kurt on the right side.
You called it a complete game, especially for the defense. What do you think that can do for their confidence going into them? And you talked about the talented and experienced Wake Forest offense they're about to go up against.
Well, I mean, you see preparation carrying over into the game, and some of the issues that showed up in the earlier weeks were communication. Making sure guys trusting their fundamentals. You're taking what they saw and being able to apply that in a very quick and decisive manner. This week we're going to play, Wake is going to play as fast as anybody that we play. I mean, they're going to push the tempo. We're going to have to be on point with our communication. We're going to have to make sure that we're playing with great fundamentals and with relentless pursuit. And what they do is challenging. They're going to put a lot of guys in conflict and responsibility, but you got to trust each other to do your job. And when you get a chance to make a play, we got to go make the plays. And I think our defense is they're building in their confidence throughout the year, and we're seeing guys that are playing fast. I thought it was the fastest that we played, and we've seen those flash moments. I mean, but getting a guy like Azari Thomas getting in and being able to have some of those. I mean, you watch him on the reverse, and you saw his closing speed. Those are good plays to have, and you see guys trusting their eyes and just the natural reactions that they're having. So we're going to continue to build on that, and like I said, have a great week of prep.
All right, next will be Allison in the back.
Hey Coach, I'll be the one to ask. With Hurricane Ian just kind of hanging out right now, how do you prepare this week? Is it business as normal until otherwise? And do you guys have kind of alternate plans? Do you have an idea of what will happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Alford has been in conversation, and the administration and the university has been in conversations, even with the ACC last night of having alternate plans ready. It's something we talked to the team about last night, that we were going to make sure that, nobody knows exactly, what is going to occur as a week goes on, but, our plan, we are prepping for this game, and, we will have plans in place. If anything, does occur that needs to alter that, but right now that's all of our focus, and making sure that guys understand that we will always have a plan in place for them, and then obviously just the thoughts with everybody within the state, just of the potential of what's coming, and just thoughts and prayers with all that's coming through towards the end of the week.
Just a follow-up, do you know when a decision would be made, if one has to be made?
That's the administration and conference and everybody that they're controlling that. I don't have any control with it, so I'm going to focus on just making sure our guys are prepared for tomorrow, and I trust our administration and all of the planning and everybody that's tracking that situation.
We'll call up here for Brendan.
You had mentioned after the game that getting Trey Benson going on the kickoff return was big for kind of sparking him and vice versa. What is that conversation like during the week to say, we want it, not just for special teams, but understand that could have an implication for him, I guess, throughout the course of the game on offense?
What do you mean with the offense? I guess.
You mentioned sparking him specifically, I guess, a player, trying to get him into a rhythm early on. So is that a conversation you guys have as coaches?
Yeah, no, I mean, ultimately Trey's a great talent, you know, and he has all the attributes of what you think would be a great returner, you know, forces missed tackles, you know, runs hard, has great speed in the open field, and it just also be able to create those touches as well. And you know, I'm excited about Sam McCall, and I'm excited about what he's shown. And you know, he was really close the week before, but you know, just in this game wanted to provide that spark for Trey and really give him the opportunity. You know, I mentioned a little bit about our running back situation. He's kind of adjusted some of those thoughts, but I thought the time was right, and you know, to see Trey be able to hit that. I mean, for him, I think the confidence has really grown a lot. You know, just even that last part of the Louisville game, whenever he was able to get in there and make a couple guys miss, you know, just the strength of his runs. It's each rep for him is building confidence in what he can do and where he can go. And you see the toughness that he runs with. You know, he's done a phenomenal job, and really excited about his continued growth.
We'll go to Hassan.
Coach, you got you know, a few players get some ACC action in the fourth quarter. You know, they don't normally get to play. Did anything kind of stand out for that game?
Yeah, you know, I thought Daniel Lyons was somebody that on the defensive front, you know, I really liked what I'm seeing. You know, Omar Graham is really flashy. I mentioned Azari. Azari got in, you know, earlier in the game, and you know, we wanted to force the action with him to really see him go out and work to make an impact. And you know, there's a lot of guys that are growing and developing. You know, I think Rodney Hill, you know, even there late in the game, it was great to be able to get him in, and you know, you saw an explosive run that he was able to hit. You know, I think that you know, his growth of what he's doing. You know, one of my favorite things in the game was you go watch the last kickoff, and you see guys like the mindset in how we cover. I mean, our guys are really embracing, you know, that part of the game. And you got, you know, Wyatt Rector, who's been phenomenal. You know, Brennan Gant. You got, you know, Brian Courtney got in there, and I mean, he's flying down the field. Josh Burrell. I mean, I like seeing guys want and take ownership in those roles and responsibilities. And it was pretty impressive to see. So there were a lot of guys that were able to make an impact and you know, try to maximize, you know, that time on the field. But you know, there's still a lot of steps that they know that they have to take, and it's good to be able to put that on display.
We'll go back over to Ira.
Kind of following up on that, do you see as guys get those reps, because in the previous years, Florida State hasn't had a lot of opportunities to get younger guys those at bats. Do you see as they're on the field from week to week, just them get better and better the more they're out there, those young guys?
I think we've been playing a lot of younger guys in the previous year. Yes, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yes. No, it's good. It's good when you can get guys in that are in the depth, whether they're older or younger, just those on-field experiences, because now they get to show from what they're doing in practice, how they're applying it on the field. And you know, as you see the growth, as you see the confidence, as you see, you know, sometimes even, you know, some of the plays that don't go well for him, how they can bounce back from that. And that's what's great for him. And as you see the season continues to progress, I mean, the opportunities are going to grow for them, and you know, and it really helps the coach's confidence that you see him in a game. It's an ACC game. It's, you know, in front of a sellout crowd. You know, those things that they get to go out and kind of prove where they are, and it also inspires them to for the future opportunities that could present themselves, that they have to be ready and they have to be better. And so, you know, I think it definitely could open up some doors for guys. And you know, we're big in that regardless, just in how we practice, trying to make sure that those guys are always, you know, a part of that development, you know, throughout the season. And you know, we'll see where that goes.
Corey.
Mike, do you have a hard and fast rule about when to go for it on fourth down? Is it a gut feel? And when you have a kicker that's maybe not kicking it great, I assume that adds to the calculus too of when you go for it and when you don't, and what's the better percentage play?
Yeah, I mean, it's twofold. I mean, so in analytics, I always want to know, you know, what by percentages of what it could look like in certain situations. And also, I mean, I've got a sense of just, you know, strengths in the matchup, of there's certain times personnel, of where our guys are. I was pleased with Ryan and obviously how we kicked off this game, and he did a good job on his field goal. We did have the extra point that was missed, but Ryan has done a lot of good things in his career. Last year he was 10 to 13 on his field goals, and this year he's had a couple that he's missed, and it's where do you go from there? It's not a talent issue. It's just it's continuing to work on that consistency. I've got a lot of confidence in Ryan, but when you're sitting there and you're looking at longer yardage field goals, it wouldn't necessarily matter if he's on point or not. I'm going to always kind of play to both, and then it goes to the gut and the kind of the decision that I want to make, and it worked out for us on a couple, and then a few of the fourth downs we weren't able to convert, and so those things that are just you're always a part of that game in the decision-making process.
All right.
Did you get, I know at ACC meetings, you had a lot of chance to get to know Coach Clausen, and I guess when you watched his teams, what are some things that come to mind?
Yeah, I've actually got to know, ironically, a few years ago, I was actually in a bowl game at Memphis. We played Wake Forest. That was the first time I really got to be around Coach Clausen, and just some of the bowl game events. A lot of respect for him, and he's a phenomenal coach, but a great man. And I mean, that's you see the character that he has that shows up within his football team. I mean, they're very they're on point in all aspects that you need to be on point to win games. I mean, they are opportunistic defensively. I mean, I think it's 34 of the last 36 games. I mean, they created takeaways. I mean, they are going to be unbelievable effort, great technique, great fundamentals, playmakers when they get an opportunity to get the ball in hands offensively. I mean, they're going to attack it. They're going to attack the defense. They're going to force they're going to force your hand, and they've done an incredible job of evaluation. I mean, people. You could take all recruiting rankings and all the recruiting comes down to evaluation. This is one of the most talented offenses that we're going to play this year. I mean, they are talented at receiver, talented quarterback, offensive line. They got 3 ACC, performers. I mean, running backs. I mean, this is a very, very talented team because they evaluate really well. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And I think when you see, just the details of that he approaches, all things, and his team's going to be prepared for each situation. And we got to go out and we got to play at a very high level this week. And it's still not about Wake Forest. It's all about us. And if we can focus on the things that we need, that we can control, we know it's going to be a great challenge, and we're excited for the opportunity to compete. And but I've got all the respect in the world for Coach Clausen, and just how he does, how he runs his program, and the characteristics that his football teams put on display.
All right, we got Brendan over here to your left.
After the game, you'd mentioned you felt a sense of energy around town, around campus throughout the week building up into the game. Imagine it's only going to continue as you guys keep winning. And I'm asking this knowing that it's still early in the season, but for you personally to kind of feel the buzz and to feel that kind of growth around the program, around the city, I guess, what has that been like for you early on here?
I mean, it's great. It's we're at Florida State, and there is a great expectation and a great sense of pride in our program. And I love that because it is about the people. And I'm so blessed for the opportunity to be the head coach here. And good Lord brought me here for a reason, and that's what every day we're trying to represent the program the way the program needs to be represented. And I think when the community, when the the fan base, they see a team that's fun to cheer for. They see a team that's working extremely hard to do things the right way, and they care about each other. They care about what they represent. I know I said that maybe in the opening press conference before camp, is that these guys care about Florida State. They care about each other. That matters, and I think that shows up when they're out there on the field. And in a day of age where everything seems to focus on the individual, whether it's social media, whether it's all the things going on, when you have a group that is willing to invest for something other than just themselves, I mean, there should be a sense of pride, and that's what has always made this program what it is. And that's what we've worked really hard to kind of get that back. So yes, when you have a sold out crowd, when you have people that are in town, when you get it. I mean, you feel the pride regardless of what the record is, because people care about being a Florida State Seminole. but when they're seeing those positive steps and there's a team that is representing you how you want to be represented, then yeah, it's definitely a great joy. And like I said, I'm just blessed for the opportunity I get to be able to lead it and to help guide it. And we got to go continue to get better, because I mean this is a special place.
The last one will be Carter on the left, in the middle.
Mike, where is Duke Cooper now compared to maybe a month ago, and what will be the key for him and just the secondary overall against guys like A.T. Berry?
Going into the game is probably as good as he's been since we started, towards the beginning of the camp. And, it's unfortunate that he had the injury, and it took, he battled his butt off to try to be able to play there in the LSU game. And, it really, to see him out there on Saturday night, he was back to what we expect him to look like and to play. And so I expect him to be 100% moving forward, and that truly helps us. But we're seeing really positive steps from all the guys. I think Renardo Green has played at an extremely high level. You got Jarian Jones is playing his best ball. Since he's been here, he's taken some real positive strides. You got Grady Vance, who also had an interception there in the game. Kevin Knowles. I mean, you're seeing those corners, the nickel backs. I mean, those guys are all really doing a great job, and they know the challenge that's ahead. And our safeties, like I mentioned earlier, I thought Jamie's probably played his best game of the year, and you just felt his presence. I don't know what all the stat lines said about it, but I mean, I know what I saw. And I think when you have those guys that are taking those positive steps, I mean, you face a team like this, and everybody's going to get challenged. Everybody's going to have one-on-one opportunities, and just being able to trust your fundamentals, trust your techniques, and go rise to the occasion. It's going to be a critical factor in this week's game, and I'm excited to see our guys compete.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.